So welcome back guys to We Talk Boxing, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the up and coming fight between Anthony Yarde versus Ricky Summers. Now this fight is set to take place on September the 23rd, and it's going to be taking place in Wembley. Now this will be Anthony Yarde's first fight back after his defeat to Beterbiev this year. So realistically, when you think of an opponent which you would like to potentially see Anthony Yarde in with, Ricky Summers' name doesn't ring a bell. It's not one of them names which you would like to, like Anthony Yarde to go and fight next, or you would like to watch, or if it was pay-per-view, you wouldn't even consider it. But he's going up against him, and in my eyes, it's kind of like a soft touch and an easy fight back, where I don't feel as if he needs these type of opponents, because Ricky Summers, I honestly haven't heard of this guy before. Um, According to BoxRec, he's 19-3-1, so he's got 3 losses on his record and 1 draw. He's currently ranked number 8th in the world in England. In Britain, sorry, and 71 in the world rankings. So he's not really just by the signs of his record, he's not dangerous opponent for Anthony Yarde. He's only got 6 KOs to his name as well. And looking at his record, yes, he's been in there with Dan Aziz, which obviously we all know who he is. And I find Bullioni. I know who Bullioni is. Sorry. He was a good fighter back in the days. I think he's retired now. I'm not 100% sure on that. Um, Yeah, and the rest of the names, I don't really know a lot of the other names that he's kind of been in there with, but it doesn't really scream that this guy's potentially going to cause an upset. I do feel that Anthony Yarde's just going to go in there and probably within 3 rounds, 4 rounds max, he should get this guy out of there. If he doesn't get this guy out of there, then him and his team need to kind of rethink things and maybe go back to the drawing board. And I don't even know really, but yeah, just thought I'd give you guys a bit of an update into Anthony Yarde and his next potential opponent. As I said, it will be the 23rd of September this year in Wembley. Then hopefully, once he's had this fight, then potentially it'd be kind of good for him to maybe go up against a better opponent. Because yeah, you can't get any lower than a Ricky Summers, I think. But there's some good fighters in the light heavyweight division who he can go up against. Obviously, he's already been in there with a Beterbiev who, um, arguably could be ranked number one, number two, with him and Bivol as the best light heavyweight today. But you've got other fighters in that division. It's quite stacked actually. You got people like Callum Smith, Ramirez. You've got Boazzi, which has been calling out his name for years. Dan Aziz as well. So there's some good fighters in there that he could potentially go up against. And realistically, what are we now? We're August now. So, after his fight September, then maybe he could probably sneak another one in before the end of the year, potentially, depending if he takes any damage. And I'd like him to go up against another Brit, which would be brilliant. And I think if he goes up against another Brit, it should be a bit easier to do, depending on obviously the Brit. Obviously, if it's like a Boazzi, that fight probably won't get made this year. Callum Smith potentially won't get made this year because obviously he's looking for a world title. But if it's against the winner, maybe a Dan Aziz and Beterbiev. Dan Aziz might fight him. Might be an easier fight to make. Or Willie Hutchinson, that's another unknown, or Craig Richards. There's a few decent guys in there, and if he doesn't want to fight against another Brit, you've got some other contenders like Ramirez, which I think that's a big step up from a Ricky Summers. Even a Joe Smith Jr. I like Joe Smith Jr. I think he's quite durable. He's a big puncher as well, so that'd be a good fight. Or maybe an Andre Durrell. So there's a few opponents which I'd potentially like Yarde to go up against next, but realistically, he shouldn't be dropping to these levels. Fighting Ricky Summers, because isn't not. I'm not being disrespectful to him, but is not on the world scene. But anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about Anthony Yarde taking on a Ricky Summers? Do you feel that he should be taking on some of the better light heavyweights in the division? Or do you think this is a good opponent to come back to? As always, guys, let me know in the comments below. Bless.